Hello and welcome to Georgia Institute of EMS's EMT class orientation. Once again, I'm Tom Camplain. I'll be guiding you through this section going over labs. So here we're going to talk about what's expected of you, what you need to do when you go to your labs. Sometimes people get really confused about what a lab is, and a lab is going to be where we're going to learn the skills of becoming an EMT. Not just going there and listening to lectures and listening to people talk. We're actually going to be doing the part of being an EMT. So, with that being said, one of the most important things you can do whenever you first get to your lab session is sign in. Make sure you sign in so that you get credit for being there. We have a saying in EMS. If it's not written down, it didn't happen. So if you show up to lab and you don't sign in, guess what? You wasn't there. So we want to make sure that you sign in for each and every lab. Now, whenever you come to your first lab, you'll be getting a lab manual if you did not get it in your in-person orientation. So make sure you bring your lab manual with you to each lab once you get it. And you must complete that entire lab manual. It is of utmost importance for us to make sure that you complete everything in that lab manual. Don't skip anything. Make sure you sign in. Make sure you get signed out in your lab manual, and everything is documented as we go. Your first lab, more than likely, you'll be learning how to take vital signs. Once you learn how to take vital sign practice is mandatory. I cannot emphasize that enough. Vital sign practice is mandatory. If you're not doing it, you're not going to get credit for it. And you don't want to be the guy or the gal caught not doing it, because that's when we'll call you out and we'll make you test on it. And if you don't pass it, you'll get a bad grade and you'll have to redo that lab, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that you practice it. If you don't understand it, if you're having problems, come forward. Let us know. That's what labs are for. That's what we're here for, is to help you learn how to do it. If you're not feeling comfortable with it, let us know. We'll work with you until you are comfortable with it. It's important for you to get through that while you're in school, because when you're out in the field, somebody's life could literally be in your hands. And vital signs is extremely important for us to understand what's going on the inside of the patient, so that your partner, your advanced EMT or your paramedic partner, may need to know what those vital signs are so that they can give the proper medication to the patient. Participation in labs is mandatory. Cannot emphasize that enough. You cannot come to lab and be a knot on the log. You have to get up and you have to participate. If you do not participate, that will affect your lab grade as well. And if you can't do the skills, come a skill exam or something, you'll have to redo the lab, and you don't want to have to do that. Like I said, every lab receives a grade. And you have to have a passing grade to pass this course. We will not allow you to work in the field if we are not confident that you know what you're doing. You have to be able to show us you know how to perform as an EMT. And that's reflected in your grades. So you want to make sure that you participate so that you get the proper good grade that you deserve. Now, additionally, during your labs, there's going to be quizzes in your lab. So you need to make sure that you have did your coursework, that you're up to date with all your assignments before you come to lab, so that whenever you get to lab, you're prepared for a quiz. Additionally, at the end of your lab, that's typically time reserved for exams. Now, sometimes it's done at the beginning, but your instructor will let you know ahead of time. Usually if it's done at the beginning, that's because the class got together as a whole and said, hey, we'd rather do it first instead of last. Whichever way it goes, your instructor will guide you through that. But you must be prepared for your exam. And the way that you get prepared for your exam is by doing your coursework, listening to the lectures, reading your book, taking your online quizzes. I cannot emphasize how important it is for you to take those online quizzes and how it will prepare you for your exams as well. Now, during labs, you will have breaks from time to time, but do not abuse it. Okay, now I know there's some people out there that are used to taking breaks on a regular basis. Well, you're in class here for 4 hours. You're going to get a break about midway through. That is plenty of time, for you to be able to learn the material, take a little break, get something to eat, get something to drink, and then finish up the class. So you will get a break. However, if you're taking excessive breaks on your own by leaving, going outside, smoking outside, going to get something to drink, going talking on the phone, and so on, that will affect your grade. And if it happens too much, we'll bring you to the side and say, hey, look, you're not participating, and you did not participate in this lab, and you're not getting credit for this lab. You'll have to redo it. You have to participate and be there for the entirety of the lab. Now, inevitably, people miss labs. And that happens. People get sick, have family emergencies, and so on. We understand that. If you miss a lab, it has to be made up. All labs have to be done. You have to participate in every one of the labs. 100% of lab participation is mandatory. So if you miss a lab, depending on the reason behind that lab, there could be a missed lab fee. So get with your instructor, get with the lab coordinator, and if you're missing a lab, you need to make it up as soon as possible. But just know that depending on the reason why you missed a lab, there could be a fee associated with that. Cell phones and tablets, when you come to lab is a time for learning, not for being on Facebook, not for being on Twitter, and not for doing social media stuff. Now, if you're using your phone to look up relevant information that has to do with class, that's understandable. But if you're texting your friends, texting your coworkers, playing on social media and stuff like that, that's not acceptable. We do reserve the right to make you put your phone in your car. And if we have to, we will do that. We understand that it's in the evening, people have kids and families, and you like to be able to get in touch with them or them be able to get in touch with you in an emergency, but that's what it needs to be reserved for, emergencies. Please let your friends and family know, hey, I'm in class from 6 to 10 and I'm unreachable unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, please come to the instructor, let them know you have a family emergency, and then we'll work with you on that to help you through that. So that's labs. One more thing I just want to point out is that during your in-person orientation, you will be given a schedule that has all your labs laid out. If you have an issue with attending one of those labs, please let us know as soon as possible so that we can get that worked out. And because if you just don't show up, you may have to pay a fee for that as well. So if you have any questions, please get with us. You can email us at info@gaiems.com, or you can ask us whenever you're in lab or during your orientation. Once again, I'm Tom Camplain, and thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next orientation topic. Thank you.
That looked good.
Awesome.